The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 20th day of December, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House and Lindos. I'm Jamel Hartman, and
Hey,
I got your name. What's your name?
you're not gonna do me like that.
It begins with a Sher. No, that's the other one.
The Sancha.
Sancha, well, man, welcome back. It's been so long. I honestly forgot what you look like.
You did? Did you miss me?
Can we leave some things to the WhatsApp chat?
Hi, Jamal. Look at me. My smile's so big. I missed you guys.
Oh, so I can't tell them all those things you were saying about us behind the scene. Like,
But I couldn't have been behind anything if you are able to tell people.
Oh, right. Essentially, we're we since you last were here, we're on Instagram, and for some reason we're having a little trouble connecting this morning. So I'm not sure what that's about. So, folks,
Things happen.
Yeah, I don't know what's popping. So, folks, if you usually check on Instagram, please forgive us. Sandra done hijacked us. She said yes, we miss you. So who you talking about, Traveling Charlie? Who you miss? Who you miss?
Me.
Oh, man, I didn't even consider that, Sandra. What you been up to though? What you been up to?
Gosh, what have I been up to? Since the last time we spoke, we traveled, went to the UK for a bit. That was awesome. We had a family vacay. Maddox played football. We had a really good time. I haven't been to the UK in over 20 something years. I won't say exact. I know that's crazy, right? So I actually went to school in the UK, and when I left. I never went back.
Oh,
So
you were like you were like enjoying a trip, because I thought it's been a while since I've been there. It's like 2010. You hadn't been in 20 years.
20 years. Yeah, probably literally probably like 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we did all the things and it was my first time taking Maddox to the UK. So, we did theater, we did museums, we did all of it. And then he got a chance to play football. It's so funny. He's so used to playing football every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get there on our first week and he was in training. We were just doing family things. And he was like, Mommy, I really need to go and play football. So I'm like, okay, we go to this neighborhood and he just meets up with some random neighborhood kids and has like a neighborhood kick. I have to say in the videos, it was so sweet. I'm like, this is what life is about, right?
So does he want to move to the UK?
I don't know, He said, as we were packing up, he says, Mommy, are we coming back? So he wants to go back, but I don't know about moving. The weather, it was so cold. So cold.
Folks, I tell you what, how old was I? I was about 11 or 12 when my first trip to the UK. And I thought it was great. It was in the summer, August, and it was pretty chilly. And I was, like, oh, this is cool. Man, I went back the next year for Christmas and the holidays, and I couldn't understand how people lived in this. It was rainy. It was crazy. But again, I was so young, I didn't appreciate Europe until I got older, because at that time I was still in Disney stage, right? As a child. But now children have so many opportunities, and like Sancha just mentioned, museums and stuff like that you're able to explore and take them to. But no, I'm glad he's gotten to experience that. How old is Maddox? 7, 8,
7.
7. See,
7, yeah. He
only
did
7.
an Arsenal game. He went to
Sorry to hear that.
stop that.
Oh, I mean, I shouldn't have said that.
It was a really good game. And
Uh,
then we also went to see Nikki Wells, and
Okay,
he got to be a mascot. This little boy lived, okay? He
okay,
lived.
okay. Oh, congratulations, Maddox. We are sorry to hear that. You're still an Arsenal fan after all that, but we're happy. Um,
Wow. What is Man U doing? Nothing.
I don't have a team anymore, Sancho.
Deep down inside, the scar is on your heart.
Yeah. That's why I don't have a team. I mean, look, sometimes you got to break up and move on. Life has been a bit better since we beat Arsenal in New Jersey. That's all that counts. Remember, Maddox weren't talking to me. He weren't speaking to me.
No, it was a practice game. It wasn't even a real game.
Doesn't matter. Maddox and I were both at the game, and Uncle Jamel got bragging rights.
You count that? You gotta find a better team. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, folks, good. Charles H. Jeffs II says, "Hey, Mama Maddox, yeah, she's coming back, starting all her trouble. Charles."
Good morning, Charles.
Zen Ingham says, "Awesome Wednesday, Jamel Sanchin, MP Maya." Yes, he missed you. I got Gavin's butter, garlic, no herb medley. I told Marco to get it. All right, see, Gavin came and talked about his butter yesterday. Butter Bermuda up, and there we go. Suzanne Ingham went and got it. Let us know how it tastes and what you're going to use it for, Suzanne. But greetings, everyone. Well, hold up. We've got Maya Palacio coming up in a bit with her latest in her news break as well, folks, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But greetings to you all. And thanks for making us part of your daily routine. We do have a good one today as we have George Barbieri coming on from Bermuda is Love. And we're going to be having a conversation about the right to food. Right to food, basic right. I always find that interesting because I don't want to pick on people's politics, but there's a certain group that says, yeah, everyone does have a right to food if they go and work and provide for themselves. And I always say if it was only that easy, right? So looking forward to the conversation and for people to understand the roles that we all play in that. The Daily Players Holiday Trivia today, and I don't have a question yet, Sancho. So have to
Okay.
check that out. But please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. Once again, there is no Instagram this morning. Not sure what's happening, but it looks like both Instagram and Twitter, which people were able to comment on Twitter, are not available at present. So we will keep you updated on that. We'll try one more time for you just to see if we can get you, because we know a lot of you love to, that's your place. As Maya was fighting for very long, that's you all's place. That's where you like to tune into the show. So we will continue to try to get the show on Instagram. But if we're unable, you can catch us on our website, YouTube, Facebook, and I think Twitter is now up and running. So you can also go on Twitter and check us out. It is now up and running, and you can comment and we'll get through the comments as you wish. Now, Jesse Seymour must have been paid to say Sandy in a heart, so he's paid off. All these paid people in the audience showing you love this morning. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, good morning. So, folks, just want to start this off because Sancha hasn't been in so long that she forgets how funny I am.
Oh, goodness gracious. Listen, you know what? Listen, your joke yesterday did make me chuckle. He sent me a personal joke and it made me chuckle.
Yeah, that one was hilarious. Yeah, we'll leave that one to us. That was good. See, we got to tell Maya this because it's just so hard to budge. My goodness. By the way, when I make my stand-up comedy debut,
You're not doing that. You're not doing that.
okay, all right. Well, I was just gonna say we're gonna have.
Let's keep it here. Look, listen, stay focused.
Right
Keep
here.
it right here.
All
Right
cool.
here.
Maya's love. All right, here we go. Here's your joke of the morning, folks. Here you go. Hold up. Let me see what the answer is. I need to look. Okay. why did Mrs. Claus think she knew the weather report when Comet and Vixen appeared?
I don't know.
Ready?
Okay.
Because they were reindeer. Like, get it? Like rain? Like
I got it.
that 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 didn't
Mm,
make you. That didn't do it.
nothing.
Okay, folks, we're gonna move.
Moving on.
Nana Pam says, good morning to the H family. Good to see you, Sancha. Well, let's get into today's question since I couldn't move my, sister Sancha. We got
Well,
a
I couldn't even crack a smile.
no. You were as tough as Maya, and it's okay. I'm going to get better in 2024. That's I
Okay.
don't make resolutions. That's a resolution. But audience, let's jump into it. We're going to have some fun over the next 2 days. These are our final 2 episodes of the year. And simple question this morning is: what are some things that you accomplished in 2023 that you're proud of? What are some things that you accomplished? And don't forget, we will be giving away the grand prize for those who filled out our survey. You are eligible, so we'll be giving that out tomorrow. So you want to tune in to make sure that you either are or aren't the winner. But this morning's question is: what are some things that you accomplished in 2023 that you are proud of? What are some things that you accomplished in 2023 that you're proud of? Sanchi, you accomplished quite a lot.
Have I?
Yeah,
I feel like this year has been kind of a quiet year for me,
really?
but I can honestly say that I've done like some internal work, if that makes sense. And I feel like throughout the year, I've learned how to create boundaries. That's been a big one for me. I feel like, I'm always learning when it pertains to my business, even when it comes to having good relationships with your family and friends. But I have always been a person that doesn't know how to say no and doesn't know how to create boundaries because I always try to, make sure everyone's happy and taken care of. And I can honestly say that this year I have created better boundaries, if that's an accomplishment.
I, uh, I mean, you know, part of this bond is let me not answer Jamel's text.
No, Jamal, don't go there.
But no,
Please.
I actually like that, Sancha, because it's something that I've learned. It's something that it's not just about creating boundaries. It's about respecting other people's. It's so important to our well-being, right? It is. But I take issue with you saying that you don't feel like you accomplished much. I don't think that's the exact language you use, but if I look back at this year, I think you did.
You think so?
You were one of the first hosts to do cup match selection night. That was huge.
That's true. That's true.
And
And I had a blast. And Jamal, can I say that I honestly look forward to it's something that I think about on a regular basis. And I don't know, you and I have talked before, and if something stays in my mind and I can visualize it, picture it, I
Mhm,
know that it's something that I need to do.
mhm.
But that was honestly that was a good time. It took me back to actually when I was living in New York and I was, doing on camera and, places where I enjoyed and I feel like was a little easier space for me. So I look forward to that. That was a really good time. And Jamal, even just the TDH crew on a whole, like I feel like that was a huge accomplishment, and especially for you and Maya. The time, the conversations that we had prior to that, the amount of work and energy and late nights and meetings that went into that people don't know about, and especially the time frame in which it happened. So you're right. That was an accomplishment. That definitely was.
Yeah, and I think folks, let us know what are some of the things that you accomplished in 2023 that you're most proud of. Let's have some fun. Let's empower each other. Let's celebrate each other. I I think that's one of mine. I think again, for those who don't know, oh shucks, I got it wrong yesterday, but it is Shanta's birthday today. So if you don't know Shanta, Shanta's the person in the back who arranges all the guests for the show and all that good stuff. So actually, I'm sorry, I just went off. Let's. All right, happy
Shanta is
birthday.
Shanta is one of my favorite people, everyone.
Oh.
I think we need to arrange. She is. Anyway, we need to arrange a few minutes for Shanta to show her face one day.
You know, you couldn't pay her to show her face.
I'm gonna work on it.
You work on it. You
Or
work.
even if we do like a little video, like capture some moments of her.
You
She's
don't
got
remember
everything.
she does all this, hides her face. Like
We're gonna do it, Maya. We're gonna do it.
she's I don't know. I let's try it. Let's try it. But you're gonna have to catch her off guard at first and get a because she avoids it. But no, happy birthday to Shanta. Honestly, the amount of stuff that she does in the background and to keep the show going. She's a name and face that you don't, hear or see, and it's a lot of incredible people. And I like, people always, I sometimes emails get forwarded to me and they're speaking to me, but I'm like, no, this is not me. My email's Jamal at Bermuda Communications. But she handles so much back there. She takes care of the scheduling of guests and the hosts. So wish her a happy birthday, everybody. And if you know her and you see her, just ask her, where's your piece of birthday cake? That's all. Just ask her, where's your piece? I mean, I don't know. Let me call Mama Sancho up at Scoop, see if she ordered a cake from there. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm starting trouble. But,
Mama Sancho or Mama Sheena?
You know what I meant. Jeez. Mama Sheena, folks. Anyway, I was making a point before I just ran off on Shanta.
We were talking. Let's bring it back. We were talking back about cop match.
And so basically, it was Shanta's idea some years ago when we first started the company. She wanted to do this, and I didn't think it was a bad idea. We just didn't have the people, right? We didn't have the people to make it happen. We didn't have the technology. And so, as I've said to you before, when we went to the NAB show, the broadcasting conference in April, I said to Maya, I was like, look, we can do this. Once Maya was on board, I remember asking Sancho, said, are you sure? And Sancho got all offended and like, how you remember how she treated me on there, right, folks? And I asked the team, and the team was ready to go. They did it. But I want to say this, and I'm being serious and saying this. I'm not sucking up to them. I don't need to suck up to them. They love me anyway. But all of what you saw at Somerset Cricket Club in St. George's, that was Sancho, Maya, like Bill, like that was not me. That was them doing that. That was them creating the environment and the spaces. And let's be clear, this was the first time that Cop Match Selection Night was ever done. First time that we were able to bring something to you, right? Juggling Jay and Larry and Lionel Titcan and Stephen Otterbridge, getting them on board. That was all last minute. That was all last minute. The only thing, like, we didn't agree with the clubs until legit a month out. So now we have time to create something. So when I think of 2023 accomplishments, that's very much high up on the list. And I hope that other people are inspired by that. I hope people look at that and say, you know what? You have an idea, let's find a way to execute it. Now, it took years for that idea to come to fruition, but it's something all of you should be proud of, including the audience, including those who engaged that night, right? Stayed up 8 hours. We went long. Yeah. All of those who stayed up and made that happen because you became a part of Bermuda history. It wasn't just about the cricket. There was trivia. There was connecting to the overall holiday, the history and traditions of it. So again, audience, what was something that you accomplished in 20? I mean, please don't tell me you didn't accomplish anything, audience. You had to have accomplished something. Suzanne Ingham, she says, my accomplishment, I lived every day. That is a
what? This is a really good exercise because I think that we get so caught up into day-to-day life and we forget to really reflect on our accomplishments. And Jamal, I know I'm not big on patting myself on the back. I feel like I do something, I accomplish it. I feel like, yes, I done that. I succeeded. And then I move on to the next thing, right? I never really had that moment to really sit in it too long. So I think that this is a very good exercise for everyone. As I'm sitting here, I was like, you know what? Let me go back through my photos. I think that's another good way to kind of remind yourself of what your year has looked like. Go back to January and just browse through your photos from like January up until now. What have I done?
Yeah.
what have you know? And I think that those you'll see so many things that you totally forgot about, and you're like, oh my goodness,
But
you
it's interesting
keep
you said
catching up.
that because Rosalind Famous is echoing what you're saying. She says, "Thanks for the question. Sometimes we forget to celebrate our achievements." And you just said something. Going back to January, like Santa, you had just like Maya was Instagram, Instagram, Instagram. You kept saying, well, "I want to get out in the community, do something." In February, we went out and we, had some surprise appearances with people helping to clean up what I consider my area on Porn Hill, right down to the playground on Parsons Road, right? That was something that I'm proud of because my hope is that it inspired others to want to just clean up their neighborhoods. You see litter, pick it up, right? Those are the kind of things that, for me, I believe are achievements that we should celebrate. So, folks, as Sancha said, we think about it. Think about it. When it comes to reviews, right? We're more likely to write a bad review about something than a good review. Think
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, and we
It's
need to start being more positive. You know what else I did? I don't use it, but I did it. I did a lash course, Jamal, so that I can make sure. I know, I just came past it. I will never do lashes, Jamal, never. But I felt like it was a service that we needed to start offering at Nail Bar, and I'm not going to do anything that I don't know anything about. So I sat through. I almost took a few eyeballs out,
Mhm.
but I sat through a lash course that I finished. I succeeded. I did a set of lashes. I
Mhm.
can say I've done it. I probably will never use it, but I completed a lash course for nail bars so that,
Nice.
yeah.
You know what I love about that? This is the owner. The owner's getting down dirty, learning stuff, and it shows you that no matter what your position is in a company organization, hey, there's always something else you can learn to become better, to add value to whatever it is you're doing. That's
It's
how
so
it's supposed
true.
to work. Audience, what are some things you accomplished in 2023 that you're proud of? Traveling Trotty says, I visited 3 new countries: Belgium, Brazil, and the Netherlands. Nice. Traveling Charlie, I'd like to see there are, oh, I'm not even going to do it, but there are at least, how many African countries are there? It's got to be about 50 African countries, right? Traveling Charlie, I'm judging you. I want to see some African countries at least once a year. Stop giving our money to Europe and these. Yeah, I'm going there with you because I love you and I know you. And also, I know you're doing the trip to Cartagena next year, and we want to get on here and talk about that and speak about that because it's a very popular destination. But I was speaking about this to one of our sponsors recently. The importance of travel in one's education and life. The importance of travel in one's education and life. Um, Keith Renee says changing behaviors, mindsets that were holding me back. Very important to make a goal every day to work on bettering yourself. So that's something that she accomplished in 2023, and that's what's up. That's what's up. We appreciate that. That's what's up. Rosalind Famous says 2023 was a big year for me. One accomplishment which I don't speak about often enough. I was named as one of the top 30 women in the language industry. Oops, that's the wrong one. Gee.
Love it.
Audience, let's give Rosalind Famous top 30 women in the language industry. Let's give her some love. Congratulations to you, Rosalind. And I love to see stuff like this. This is what I'm talking about. We're gonna celebrate one another. If you look at the Daily Hour website, one of the reasons this show exists is to celebrate and honor one another. Congratulations, and
Awesome.
yeah, I'm proud of that for you because it is us. But keep them coming, folks. We're going to bring Maya in for the Daily Hour News Break. We have a very important conversation coming up with another friend from Bermuda is Love, George Barbieri, coming up. We're talking about why food is a human right. And yeah, it's a basic right. It's a necessity, right?
Yeah.
So let's bring Maya in for the conversation and keep your things coming. Keep your we want to know because there's too many of you tuned in right now to be silent. You have had to have accomplished something. Trust me.
Celebrate yourself, please.
Yes. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not no bias, but my highlight of today, at least, Sancho doing a lash day. Like, folks, that to me should empower everybody. We had Gavin on yesterday, right? Talking about his butter business and how he started in 2020 and he's still going. Like, Sancho's example this morning is no matter your position or where you're at in life, you better keep learning, keep growing, and keep going. Spring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break. Stick with us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm decent. I'll leave it at that. The holidays are definitely getting to me, but I'm decent. How are you guys?
Well, I mean, I'm okay, but we've got one more show. Can you get just one more? Just one more.
Yeah, I can make it through. I can push it through.
Yeah, one more. Well, we want to hear. We shared some accomplishments. Well, Sancho shared more than me. I only said one, but like you
say we need one more from you, Jamal, and we need to hear yours, Maya.
Really? Well, while Maya tells us hers, I'll think of one more.
Well, my biggest accomplishment, I think everyone here knows, is just being able to go to Toronto. I think, like, making that shift, making that jump, and being like, I'm out.
And embracing it now, because I know in the beginning it was like, oh.
I know. I think that's a bigger accomplishment, actually, Sandra. You're right. Embracing it, actually saying
like being able to actually talk about it and live in it and sit in it. And, we haven't spoken that much, but when we do speak, just to see your enthusiasm and see how you're flourishing and the people you're surrounding yourself with, girl, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud of you.
Yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm very, very happy.
Yeah.
Good.
Do I have to say my one now? Because Maya just said one.
Yeah.
I already said my one.
I need another one from you, Jamal. We are celebrating ourselves.
I only gave one.
I gave two, technically, going away, and then actually talking about going away. So
exactly.
That's one. Okay. I honestly, I would say getting my peace back. Creating the life that enables me to give my best to myself first and others.
Yes.
And I'll say this publicly. Going back to therapy, not for affirmations, but for insights and clarity, right? I think that's probably something I'm very proud of, because I think we have these stereotypes that Black people and Black men in particular don't do those kind of things, and so with that, I think I'm more able to communicate effectively with our audience on a daily basis, but just with people in general about my thoughts without being too offensive. So now I go back and watch the shows. I'm like, it used to be always like, did you really just say that? And I couldn't edit it out because we were live. And now I look back and I said, damn, I just said that. It was smart, So yeah.
I honestly think that the emotional and mental piece is something to celebrate and something to be proud of, because that's something you can't like touch, see, feel, right?
Mhm.
So you have to really dig deep within, and you have to acknowledge within yourself, like, what are the things that I really need to work on to better myself in order to be able to do that? And that takes a lot within itself. So yeah. Proud of you too, Jay.
Thank you. All right, enough about me. Maya, what you got news break?
Well, good morning. Good morning. This is the Daily Hour News brought to you by Fuels Pharmacy. Starting out on news this morning is that drug seizures and arrests did occur. So this happened around 10:45 p.m. on Friday, December the 15th. Police officers were conducting vehicle checks along Kinley Field Road in St. George's when they stopped a motor car traveling east along that said road. So checks show that the vehicle to be unlicensed and uninsured. The driver was a 30-year-old male and was also found to be operating the vehicle while having an expired driver's license. Officers proceeded to search the vehicle and recovered a quantity of suspected cannabis resin, ecstasy tablets, crack cocaine, along with drug paraphernalia. The suspect was arrested for possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply, as well as for possession of drug paraphernalia. A search of the subject's residence was also conducted, and other items liable for seizure were also recovered.
credit to them, but they find some stuff these days. And it makes you wonder. Someone said it in one of my chat groups. Is it that, and take no offense with what I'm about to say, but is it that, and I didn't say it, is it that people are speaking up more and the police are doing a good job, or is it that corrupt police officers finally retired? Someone said that to me. I was like, dang, I didn't even think of it like that.
That did not cross my mind.
Did not cross mine. I'm serious. That was said in one of my groups. I probably shouldn't have shared that, but whatever.
Yeah. I'll hold comment.
Moving on to other news, well, you heard me talk about it last week about, the RA launching a look into, Balco and the FAR. So basically, announcement that the approval of reduction of the fuel adjustment rate, FAR, from the existing rate of 24.5 cents to now 18.4 cents per kilowatt effective January the 1st. So it is dropping. So this decision follows a comprehensive evaluation of Balco's 2024 Q1 FAR submission, indicating a decrease in the fuel pricing. Now that came directly from FAR, and then Balco put out their own statement as well with a comment from their president, Wayne Keynes, who said, quote, "It is certainly good news that the cost of fuel has decreased, contributing to a welcome decrease in the FAR. The regulatory authority holds us accountable when calculating the FAR and ensures that our fuel costs are reasonable and efficiently incurred. Customers can visit the website for more information."
So I'll just say this. Things keep happening that just make me say, has he dropped the writ at the feet of the governor yet? Because if this is not electioneering, let me grab a few votes, I don't know what is. We ain't stupid. I'll leave it at that.
That's a pretty big drop too. It was like 6 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's. I mean, this is what happens during election time, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. What's 2024 next year? Okay, getting closer.
Well, as some of you may have known, but it hasn't quite yet been presented yet as a report, but there was a fire last night. And if anyone lives in St. George's or in the St. David's area, if you can actually let me know whether or not it's still ongoing or if it stopped, because last night I was there around 7:15, fire was ablaze, and I got something here I can show you guys as well. And then also a little bit later throughout the night, it was still ablaze, like around maybe 11. So I got closer, as you see this video footage here. I got a bit close to it, but couldn't really see it from there. This is on the causeway now, where you can obviously see it far in the distance there. And it was a pretty huge fire. If it was daylight, you would see a huge array of black smoke. I think you can kind of sort of see it in this image here. But yeah, it was ongoing. This is kind of a show of like where the airport is there on the right versus where the fire is. So it's closer to the far older airport and near the dump area. There's still been no report as to how, the fire started or even when it ended. So my assumptions could only be that from this time, it might still be going on or might not. So if anyone does know, that would be grateful to know whether or not they've actually been able to put that fire out.
Yeah, sad to see that.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know what the cause was, and if it affected. I know we don't have many planes in the evening, but if it affected or will affect our
service for today.
Yeah, and sorry, folks, that was we are now live on Instagram after 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, honestly, it's kind of hard to say that, Jamal, because I know it's in the older airport area. I want to, like, somewhere in the dump area, because that's exactly where I went. But I wouldn't say it's going to interrupt. But again, we haven't heard anything. If it was, I feel like we would have heard by now. But yeah, so that was the fire last night. Again, if anyone's in the St. George or St. David's area and has an update from this morning, I'll be grateful to hear it, because, as I said, it was hours that they're working on it. Well, in other news as well, I went to town yesterday and I got to stop by Looky. Kimwana was actually on the show, and she actually has an event going on tonight. Now, I did take this interview yesterday, so you're going to hear it say tomorrow, but it definitely is something that's going on tonight if you choose to stop by. What type of clientele were you hoping to get, and what did you receive?
I was basically just wanting to get locals to look locally first And we have received all sorts of clientele, like everyone, the whole gamut, young, old, all the different races. It's been excellent. We're also having a shopping day tomorrow where the vendors will be in store. DJ Chubb will be in. Sometimes people want to speak to the actual vendor and they have questions. So tomorrow we'll be here all day just getting into the mood of the holiday. So we're here from 10 to 6 daily. Sunday, Christmas Eve is our last day. So we're going to be here till about noon, 2 o'clock at the latest.
I went in there last week, and it's so funny. I'm another person. I'm proud of her. I don't know, Jamal, you and I had interviewed her the first time she came on the show, and from where she was to where she made a decision, she ran with it, and when I walked in, she was like, Sancha, my employees are sick. I'm so tired. But this is what I chose to do, and I'm so happy. And I'm like, people do not see the background of entrepreneurship and the commitment that you have to have. And she has, jumped in feet first, and she's doing an amazing job. So I am proud of her as well.
Amazing.
Indeed.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to go there today, all the vendors there for all the supplies will be at the store too, so you can speak with them. Now, in other news, according to the city of Hamilton, parking at Bulls Head Car Park is the most economical way to park in the city. They have even more information saying that Bulls Head costs $1 per hour on a daily rate, or $5. The monthly parking pass code is $100 per month, or you can purchase an annual pass of $1,100 per year, which will save you a free month of parking. A spokesperson said that many individuals who pay for parking daily at Bulls Head Car Park don't realize that they can purchase monthly or annual passes, which end up saving them money. So if you didn't know that, and if you're a frequent parker or someone up in town, that's something to know.
Parking in town. Drop me off and pick me up. That's the best parking for me.
Exactly. And my last news of today is obviously social media has been ablaze as there is a comedian in Bali who had been apprehended in an altercation that happened at a nail salon. Now, we don't know too much information on that other than what we've seen on social media and heard from different news outlets there in Indonesia. So we're going to leave it at that until we get to hear any more updates, information from our government.
I'll be real with you. Much love and respect to Trevor Lindsay. Appreciate, people in the space. But I'm absolutely shocked Trevor hasn't got no story on it yet. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, Trevor ain't dropped nothing. This must be real serious. But no, I honestly thought that we would have had something, a statement, at least in some regard, but we have nothing. And I don't know the ins and outs of this situation. And I, have observed a lot being said on social media. Not going to go into my relationship with the individual, but sometimes it's better to observe, and do what you can without being so loud. And I hope that triggers the conscience of somebody. You don't have to be loud to help people. What else you got, Maya?
Well, closing up with the weather this morning, it's going to be cloudy, or Sandra can actually look outside her window because she hasn't done that in a while.
I have a ton of windows now. I don't know if you guys keep seeing, I look up. I have new windows, guys.
See, now you have a new viewpoint on the weather, but it's looking cloudy with a few showers likely to ease later on in the afternoon. Light to increasing strong winds, though, still. So if you're on a bike, as always, just be mindful, careful of those roads. And we got a high of 68 today.
All righty. Sancha?
Days of the year.
Okay.
Today is caroling day.
Oh.
How many of you have either seen carolers this Christmas or been caroling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when I used to drink, I used to go. No, we used to go to just stop people's houses and sing, and they would give us like drinks and stuff. Yeah.
Well, today is caroling day.
Actually, I had a customer who would sing Christmas songs the other day at the store. So.
Yeah. So I haven't seen. Well, they did have the caroling competition at the airport, but I have not seen carolers around for a very long time. And other than Maddox singing his little heart out old Christmas. No, I haven't seen anything.
So, Sancha and Maya, what you guys
caroling?
What you doing Christmas Eve?
Sleeping.
Never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say we could go Carolyn.
We should.
I ain't down for it. She wanna go
Let's,
see.
we should make it a TDH thing.
Yeah,
We
we
should
could.
invite the
Mhm.
audience.
Yeah.
Let's meet up at a spot and go to a few houses and carol.
Mhm.
But my
Mhm.
other one did. She's tired. You said, you know,
Audience, can you support me in this? If you want to go caroling,
I'm
can you
down.
put it in the comments
I'm
so
down.
that we can go caroling Christmas Eve? Let's do it. I feel like traditions are being lost.
Yeah, let's help bring the traditions back, Maya. What you think?
But I'm not gonna. Okay, fine.
Real quickly before we go to break, we got a guest. I want to go back because we had quite a few birthday shout outs for Shanta. Suzanne Ingham says happy birthday. We've got Ebony Susan said happy birthday, Shanta. I hope them boys give you a little break today. We've got Marcia, Robin Patrice Bradshaw says happy birthday, Shanta, and Traveling Trotty, happy birthday, Shanta. Have a happy day. I'm gonna put Traveling Trotty on the spot again. So Traveling Trotty is the one who introduced me to Shanta, and look at what came out of that, right? So
Nice.
yeah, like, there's the Sora sisters, they did some good things. And then we've got Renee Simmons. Shanta is a wonderful person. She goes above and beyond more than you all know. And I haven't met her yet. Oh, interesting. Happy birthday, Shanta. And but Shanta actually responded, folks. She says, thank you for the birthday wishes. I've been blessed to see another birthday. Have a beautiful and safe holiday. Well, Charles then says, oh, you commented here? Wow, happy birthday. She don't even Sandra's trying to get her on camera. She don't even like commenting, right? But
I'm gonna do it.
sincerely, happy
Good
birthday.
luck.
Maybe
I tried.
maybe we can get her to Carol with us.
She will.
I don't know. Maybe we could ask Maya to help her. But no, honestly, happy birthday, Shanta. We love you. We really do appreciate you. Without you kind of holding things together, as both of these young ladies on the screen can attest to, I can be the most annoying person ever. I can be in your that's who I am. And thanks for accepting me, appreciating me, and loving me. And I know I'm not easy, but it takes a special kind of somebody to deal with me. So enjoy your birthday, and we're gonna go to a commercial break before they get all teary-eyed. That's all they get, right? These two. Maya, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys. Happy birthday, Shanta.
All righty, folks. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about that pill, but we've got a guest coming out. George, we're talking about food, man. It's Christmas time. And it's something that gets me. It'll be easy to sit here and say, no one should go hungry during Christmas. But no one should go hungry ever. And we're going to talk about why. Stick with us. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talk and DeWalt. The list goes on.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to I'm Jamal Hartman, she sent you, Durham. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. Do not forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. We've got George Barbieri coming on from Bermuda is Love. We're talking about food, folks. Food, a basic human right, something we don't think about. Let's give him a warm TDH welcome like we know how. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First off, thanks for your patience. Thanks for your patience. How are you this morning?
I'm very well, thank you, Jamal. Sancha, good morning to you as well. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. You know what we're going to ask you, right?
Oh, boy.
We need to know something, positive that's happened this year for you.
Yeah.
This year. Well, I began a law degree in January. So, I mean, so far it's been positive. I haven't felt anything too negative or draining about it. So I have to say that's been a fun challenge, and it's been very stimulating. I also got a job. I think that's also good.
2023 has been your year.
Yeah, no, it's been fruitful so far. I'm hoping that it'll continue into 2024, but
I love that.
Nice.
I like how he literally said, well, I got a job. Yeah, that is an accomplishment these days with so many people having issues with that. But George, tell us a bit about your background, a bit about yourself and what it is you do with Bermuda is Love.
Of course. Beginning with my background, I was born and raised in Bermuda. And around the age of 10, I went to British boarding school for about 13 years. And in the last 4 of those years, I was in London, and I did a bachelor's and a master's in history of art. Around 2020, with the end of 2022, I returned to Bermuda. And as I said, in 2023, I began a law degree, and I am now a paralegal in the litigation department at Connie Still and Pearman. And I began working with Bermuda is Love in about March of this year. And along with doing the kind of community activities, I'm also its secretary. So I help with the administrative affairs and other project developments.
Nice, nice. And let's tell us a bit about, we're here to discuss food being a human right. Explain to us what is that?
So, I mean, if we break down food and right into kind of their definitions, a right is a power or privilege granted by a governing body, which is morally good, justified, or acceptable. And food is any nutritious substance that people or animals eat or drink in order to maintain life and growth. So if you put them together, the right to food would be essentially these kind of government granted, or rather, created set of rules that would, or recognitions of things that are morally good and justified and acceptable, which would be the access to nutritious food to help with life and growth. And what's interesting is that we have these rights, but they're not necessarily laws that are enforceable. So, I mean, we don't have, for example, a law that stipulates that people must have access to nutritious food. Rather, it's left to individuals to do it themselves, to fulfill their own basic needs. So when it comes to rights, it's a right to food, but it's not a legal enforcement or an enforcement to access to food, is what I'd say about it so far.
So why is the right to food a necessary campaign for us to focus on, or for you to focus on?
Well, as the definition showed, food is necessary to life, as we all know. It's what sustains our life, but also it's what determines the quality of our life too. So if you're eating food that's not as nutritious, you won't have the energy to fuel your day. You won't have the protein to withstand the weight or the exposures of the day. You won't have the vitamins and minerals to clean your body and kind of keep it clean and well functioning, a little bit like what oil does to mechanics, just keeps it running well. So it's not just about eating for survival, but eating for a quality of life that helps you tackle whatever it is in life that you're tackling or trying to tackle. And that's where I would leave it there, at least.
So how do we as a community go about ensuring that everyone has a right to food?
In terms of creating a right and being able to enforce it, it would have to come from the government. and or at least enacting or creating these rights to access to food. And as much as we obviously rely on the government, there is a lot that they work on. None of it is unimportant work. However, what I think we as a community could do is be more vocal about what our priorities are, what we wish them to prioritize on. If we want, as a community, a set of rules that ensure that we have access to nutritious food, then we would have to be more vocal in our halls or with our politicians and say, look, this is now our priority. This is something that we realize the importance of. This is something that we want to see. And it's something that, we really want to see. And so I think it would start with the community engagement of these ideas and everyone organizing around it and then coming towards our legislation and saying, this is now our priority. This is what we want.
Audience, if you have any questions or comments for George, please send them through. Again, this is a conversation that to me should be happening on a regular basis. I think we look at people who are hungry as if these are people who are victims of they created their own circumstances, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Sorry, Sandra.
No, that's fine. So why don't some people have access to food? Number one.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, what is the role of the government to ensure that they do? Like, how does the government ensure that this happens, that everyone has a right to food?
So beginning with the first question, one of the reasons, or some of the reasons rather, why there is poor access to food or food insecurity is poverty, unemployment, underemployment, a lack of access to education of why certain foods should be consumed and what foods should maybe be avoided, inequality, high food prices, which we all feel, and a lack of natural infrastructure. Those are just some of the reasons. And at any point, if you'd like me to go into any of them as to how they directly, the details of how they impact the lack of food, I can. But it's, there's no one issue, and unfortunately there's no silver bullet when it comes to solving them. But that's why mainly people don't have access to good food, also nutritious food rather. And when it comes to the government and their responsibilities, again, we have financial assistance, for example, but that kind of approach is that people should be responsible for their finances and should liberally choose based on their own needs, where they can direct their finances. It's a more kind of liberal approach or autonomous approach towards people and their responsibilities. However, I think that you do need to create a strong kind of foundation of needs for people before you can expect, you need to ensure their basic human needs and securities first, such as shelter, food. And I think that it would be more beneficial if we could instead focus, and if the government could focus as well, on providing these necessities first, and then allow people with more liberty to make decisions once they have their basic needs met.
You mentioned going in further detail. Feel free, take us on that ride to give us a better understanding.
Mm-hmm. Well, we could look at poverty, for example, and when a person's in poverty, it's they're exposed. They're exposed to greater violence. They're exposed to lesser opportunities. They're exposed to, the elements in terms of maybe poor housing. And all of these are immensely stressful things to be under. And as, any PADI instructor will tell you, when you're stressed or when you're anxious, it really inhibits your decision-making process. It actually slows it down. Furthermore, when you're dealing with these very immediate exposures or concerns, your brain or your mind is really focusing on trying to tackle these things in the short term. As a result of that, the general mentality is of trying to get a break and follow the path of, just easier paths and doing things very simply. As a result of that, when it comes to at least to food, you're naturally going to potentially gravitate towards options that are easier and cheaper. I mean, especially cheaper if you're in a situation of poverty. Unfortunately, the foods that tend to be the cheapest or are the most inexpensive and easiest to make are the ones that lack the most nutrition. It's no secret that organic food tends to be more expensive because of the greater time and labor it takes to create these, more nutritious foods. And as a result of that, that's at least one of the reasons why poverty translates to a lack of access to nutritious food specifically.
Interesting.
So, as you know, you've heard me talk. I have a 7-year-old son,
Mhm.
and obviously, I follow so many of the different articles in different countries. There are so many things that are now becoming illegal, like the Skittles or the fruit roll-ups or
Mhm.
what is your idea? From what I'm hearing, is that government should be doing a lot more to regulate these things. Where do you feel our government is in a stand on this, and are they doing enough to protect us from the chemicals and just the bad things that are in our everyday foods?
Mhm. Yes, I'm aware of what you're referring to. I mean, to my mind, it reminds me of sugar taxes and taxes on foods with potentially higher sodium and saturated fats. And I do agree with that. There is a case to be made for it. I mean, the same logic is applied to cigarettes, where a higher tax was put on cigarette or tobacco products in the UK, and that money went towards the NHS to help alleviate, or to go towards the costs of curing any or remedying any tobacco-related diseases. I do think it's worth mentioning, though, reminding ourselves that in some ways, increasing a tax on sugar or other products of food that's readily available to poor people is in some sense punishing them even further. It makes access to this food even more difficult, and their options are still quite expensive. And so I think it's always, whilst it's beneficial to trim certain unhelpful things or malnutrition things, or things that are unhelpful, you have to supplement it with something else. So whilst I'm completely on board with the government potentially creating an increase on sugar tax or being more restrictive on foods that aren't nutritious, it would have to be supplemented with greater access to nutritious food, whether that's by boosting the local infrastructure here and being able to turn more land into arable land, being able to grant, more easily grant permits and licenses for farming, and being able to really expand our industry here so that's more readily available and cheaper. That, I think, in tandem with restriction, is a wiser way to go about it, so that you're not essentially punishing poorer people further.
One of the things I remember when I was in, I believe it was both undergrad and graduate school, we would always do case studies on like these chain restaurants. Like, let's use a bakery. They would throw the food away because by law they couldn't give it away. The U.S. I don't know if it was federal or state law, but they couldn't give the food away because they got someone sick and the like. But I'm like, but if someone purchases the food and gets sick, like, what's the difference? There's so many laws against giving people who need food stuff. What's the take on that? Like, I mean, I'm not sure if Bermuda has similar laws, like where restaurants would rather throw food away than to give it to people. But how can we address something like that?
It's a good point to raise, and it's something that we've done research on. In certain EU states, Britain, they tried to draft a bill for it, but in California they've successfully done so, and again in EU states there are laws that oblige supermarkets to sell their produce that is close to expiration at a reduced rate towards food. Kind of food charities or food banks, rather. There we are, food banks. And so there is, for example, right there, a legislation in place that, to deal with potential food loss, which has, which also alleviates another area of pressure, which is poor access to food. In terms of Bermuda, I've looked at the legislation that we have and I've discussed it with certain civil servants. The laws that we have with regards to disposing and serving expired food is antiquated, to say the least. I think the law or the act is from the 1940s, late 40s. And the issue is that as much as the gentleman I spoke to, as much as, everyone around him want to change it, again, there are other priorities that have been put onto them to deal with so that they can't work towards amending that legislation. But for the time being, it's quite vague. But essentially, perishable goods, they need to be dispensed with as soon as they reach the expiration date. But goods that are reaching their expiration date, as long as it doesn't hit the date exactly, you can give them away. So that's currently where we stand. We have no laws obliging supermarkets, or rather, obliging supermarkets to sell at a reduced rate, food close to expiration. And equally, our legislation is can be updated, so to speak.
Alrighty. And this is good work. Mark Arthur C. Phillips asking Mr. Barbieri, he says, how closely have you worked with farmers to improve food security in the island?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mark Arthur, for your question. With relation to the work we've done with farmers, there has been one individual who I haven't spoken to him or asked his permission, so I won't name him, but there's one farmer that we've spoken to so far who is very much committed towards the whole science and biology, as he would put it, of creating, or rather, creating nutritious food free of pesticides and any other potentially harmful additives towards food that's grown in an organic way locally in Bermuda. And he actually educated myself and the group and ourselves on Bermuda's former, rich history of being able to be entirely self-sustaining. He cited the time during the Second World War when there were blockades that I believe it was between Watson's Farm and Somerset Bridge, that whole area of land, which had lots all around it, was able to sustain the entire population of Bermuda during the war periods, during the blockade. And at the time, I think the population was maybe 40,000. And again, this is me trying to remember the details, but he then explained how gradually that arable land gave way to housing, which is still very important, and other developments, but so much so that we now barely have any arable land, certainly not enough to sustain our whole population, and we're now completely reliant on our imports. And so, with regards to working with farmers towards solutions, the discussions have been made, or discussions have been made to us and have enlightened us, and now it's a question of furthering these discussions and liaising with other farmers to try and create a solution. But so far, those are where the discussions have come to, and we look forward to working further with them to decrease our reliance on imports and potentially offer a more nutritious and affordable and sustainable form of access to food.
Alrighty. Let's just go to one more from Mark Arthur C. Phillips. He's asking, does Bermuda's Love collaborate with charities in the philanthropic space?
Thank you again, Mr. Mark Arthur. With relation to our collaboration with charities, it's tricky at the moment because so far we are a community group. We are not a licensed charity as of yet. And that means that being able to handle finances or work with any form of finance is technically not legal. I mean, it's generally frowned upon, and it's, whilst it's not illegal, it's frowned upon, and hence why we would be obliged to register as a charity. But so far we've worked with, various charities in terms of their practical work. So the Salvation Army, for example, we've worked with them to clear out one of their lots so that we could create a community garden. The Eliza Doolittle Society, we've worked with them, but all of these collaborations have been more practical and labor-based as opposed to anything more fundraising-based or financial. So that's been the extent of our work so far, but it's by no means the limits of our work, and it's something that we look forward to expanding and developing further.
Alrighty. We've got a couple comments. Suzanne Ingham says we must do that again. So we are sustainable. So we are able to sustain our people. Malachi can do this. He has a ton of experience in education. And then we have Kia Renee BDA. Are there any plans for doing trade with Caribbean islands for bringing in more food into Bermuda in the future?
No, there is. I mean, thank you for the suggestion. It's not one that we've considered yet, and I know that trade, or rather our relations with the Caribbean, is now a topic of discussion that's been inspired by our membership, or the development of our membership with CARICOM. It's not an area that I've looked at or researched a lot, and I haven't researched much of yet. But if it's a solution that alleviates any of our pressure points, then it's certainly one that I would, and I think the group would be very interested in exploring in. But thank you very much for presenting the idea, though.
Yeah, all right. Let's go. Traveling Trotty's asking, how can we get more youth involved in community work and things like this?
I mean, in terms of the youth that we've seen in the community work so far, it's been part of, I think, a school program, or part of their school obligations to do community work, which is obviously no bad thing. But obviously, we'd love to see more people out of interest potentially come and get involved in the activities that we do. And I empathize obviously with young people, and probably not wanting to spend 2 hours of their Saturday picking up trash. And it's certainly in some ways a disheartening thing to continuously come to places and pick up trash. But I think the one thing that attracts me, at least, and what I would hope maybe would attract young people to our kind of activities as well, is the sense of interaction and socializing that goes on. And it feels in some ways productive, fulfilling. It's a nice change to a party or getting drunk. Instead, it's something that's feels purposeful.
Yeah, it's fulfilling. It's fulfilling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, we're not going to keep you because we'll be here to the new year, and I'm fine with that. But Frank got some places to go. But I real quickly, just let people know if they want to get involved and they want to learn more and figure out like how we can all get on board and ensure everyone has a right to food. What can we do? How can we get on board with Bermuda is Love?
So, I mean, in terms of practical things that we can all do, there's, community gardening or home gardening, community fridges, reducing food loss and waste by being conscious of it, universal school meals, expanding feeding programs, and, all of these, I guess, creations or institutions, these are the practical solutions, but those practical solutions come from practical involvement. And so, being, open to volunteering or kind of looking to growing your own food in any amounts that you would be able to, engaging with other groups. And in order to get to that point, all that really is required is the interest in the first place. If you think to yourself, maybe I'd like to experiment and see what trying new or different diets with more nutritious food, how it could affect me and how that can affect myself and the community in the way that we talk about it. I think that's always a good start. I mean, going on Google and just spending a couple of minutes doing, exploratory research, or even just being curious on YouTube or on Google, and starting with that and then seeing how you feel and seeing if you're drawn into then the practicalities involved in making it something a bit more readily and kind of realizable. And I think one thing I'd certainly like to say in terms of food and health in general is that it's like lifting weights. It's gradual little progressions that over time ultimately builds great strength. And so one shouldn't underestimate the kind of subtle changes that they can make through more nutritious food And the ways that you can create and access that through those subtle and little changes of community engagements and volunteerings, which in the short term might not seem like much, but over time can really build into something quite promising and self-sustaining and strong.
All righty, George, it's been a pleasure. A lot of good information that I hope people can carry into the new calendar year and throughout the year and beyond. Just let people know how they can get in touch if they want to get involved.
So with regards to Bermuda's Love, you can get in touch with us on Instagram, Facebook. We're all over there. Just send us a message. If you have any questions or queries, we also, or just come to our events. There's no need to ask permission. You can just turn up. Or if you don't feel comfortable turning up yet, but you're just intrigued to know more, send us a message. We'll answer to you very promptly. And yeah, we're always here as a point of call for anything of your interest.
Thank you so much, my friend. It's been a pleasure, and wishing you a great holiday and all the best in the new calendar year.
All right, fantastic. Jamal, Sancha, thank you very much for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
Right all this time, Jamal, not Jamal. But I'm not going to hold it again.
My apologies.
Have a great one, George. Talk soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. George Barbieri, folks, really good conversation. I encourage people all the time, but I really mean it. Share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. See what you can do. See what it is that you can do to help the most vulnerable in your community. I agree, Sancha, and we'll talk about it when we come back. But there's a couple things we need. Necessities. Food is one of them. Food is one of them, and all of us can ensure we can play a role to ensure that people at least have that bare minimum. If you appreciated today's conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it with your friends, family, your colleagues, even the ones you don't like. We'll be back after this daily play, and we'll wrap it up. Send you on your way. Stick with us.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
All right, welcome back to Big Show. So sorry about that, folks. A lot going on this side on the end. Thanks again to George from Bermuda is Love and the entire Bermuda is Love team. We appreciate them coming on. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Various editions now available in stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sancha, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, this is too easy. Can I ask you another one?
No, because too easy to you doesn't mean that it's actually easy.
Sancha, if you don't get this, shame on you, and Maddox and I aren't getting you. Jassy, even Mama Sheena, none of us are getting you anything for Christmas.
Goodness, okay.
All right, heard it. Folks, this is the Sharon's going to say I picked this one on purpose and I didn't. That's how easy. Okay, here it is. Sancha, let me play my music first. What color are Frosty the Snowman's eyes?
I don't remember. I do.
Audience.
Black?
Sancha?
Look, I'm sitting here singing Frosty the Snowman in my head.
Black. Yeah. What, you know what, folks? You know what I'm gonna say?
We need to go Carolyn.
I'm gonna say this. Sancho's a little rusty. She's been off a bit. But it was kind of a trick question. It was kind of a trick question.
Is it brown? Someone said brown in the audience.
It's black. His eyes actually, now you're gonna make me Google. Hold on, folks. We're
Oh
gonna,
goodness.
because I need to make sure that they are black. Because I can't, the game might be wrong. Frosty, good snowman. Let's see. We need images. Frosty.
No, but doesn't it say it in the song?
You know the lyrics?
I know the basis of them. Yeah. You don't know the lyrics?
No.
I was trying to sing it in my head quickly.
Let's see. Frosty the Snowman's eyes are black. Yeah. They look black.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, they're black. Well, someone was right. Black with some white in them. But you know what? Okay. Well, Manuela says two eyes made of coal.
Right. I knew it's in the lyrics. I mean, I'm not just sitting here thinking about Frosty's eyes, you know?
Got a crush on Frosty, folks. On Frosty. Let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on, I mean, we had some people share with us, the highlights of the year. We obviously had a great conversation, but I want to go back to this, Sancho, before we wrap it up. Nana Pam celebrated 50 years of marriage and was able to attend college graduations of two of my granddaughters. Very blessed. I love that. I love that for this year. And we have Mark Arthur C. Phillips. He says, thanks for reminding me, Jamal. I found a great therapist as well. Dr. Pete has been a great asset to my life. Yeah. So keep those accomplishments coming, folks. We're going to have a very fun show tomorrow as well. Right, Sancho?
We are.
Okay. Well, let's wrap up today. Final thoughts on today's show.
So today made me realize that I miss being here, Jamal. One of the things I miss about being here is that we get to meet young people that are driven and looking to give their time, energy, and knowledge to the community. We are blessed that we have 3 meals per day, or at least 2, with time, given us, allowing that for us. But unfortunately, there are people in the community that aren't as fortunate, and bringing that to our attention, especially during the holiday time, because the holidays are happy for most, but not for some. We need to take a minute and think about the people that are less fortunate, that do not have the means and access to the food, like daily, just things that we require on a daily basis, such as food. So I'm happy for this conversation today, and it's actually brought me to thinking, what can I do over the holiday season to bless someone, right?
Yeah.
And then as far as, our discussion this morning, I am encouraging everyone, Jamal, we are going to create a challenge, and we're going to take it to social media, celebrating me in 23. That's what we're going to call it.
I like that.
Yes, celebrating me in 23. And I would love for you to go through your phone, as I said, through the pictures, and just tag us and let us know at least 4 things that have been great to you this year. I would love to see it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it as well.
I don't know if you guys want to see my moments in my phone. But no, I echo. I think you summed it up earlier, Sancho. Like, we don't celebrate ourselves. And I really hope, if nothing else, that this show encourages people to celebrate themselves, celebrate their accomplishments. We're always, so hard on ourselves. But again, the example I give is not just ourselves, but look at what we do when it comes to life in general. When it comes to giving a review for something, we're more likely to give energy to a bad review than a positive one, right? Let's do better. Let's find the positives within and express them and celebrate them and show them. Toot your own horn once in a while. As far as the conversation with George and Bermuda is love, I'm grateful that they are keeping conversations like this top of mind. I am hopeful. I am extremely hopeful that this can be a catalyst for change to ensure that at the least people have. We speak about homelessness, which is extremely important. Shelter, one of the most important things, along with food. But we need to do more as a community. We need to do more as a collective. And we can do more as a community and a collective. You've got some daily inspiration for us, Sancho?
I do. Our daily inspiration is brought to you by ER Fisheries. Year's end is neither an end nor a beginning, but an ongoing. with all the wisdom that can experience just instilled in us.
I love that one. I love that
Yes,
one.
and that's by Hal Borland.
All right, I love that one. Well, folks, you know what? We have to say peace out, but please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow for one more time in 2023. She sent you, Durham, I'm Jamal Harp, and please do make it a safe and a great day. We are is out. Peace.